Well, hi folks, this is a heads up on what is going to be my number 14 Lidl RC cheapy foamy glider conversion to RC. Not going to do a build vlog for this, but as you can see I've already made a start on it. Having done a good dozen of these now, my procedures have changed a bit. As you can see, I'm hollowing out the body before I've even installed the wing, and I just use this bit of hot wire over the hot gas. You can take it out very quickly. So I've managed to go a bit of a way in here, which is useful if you need to get a lipo right down there. The other thing I've just figured I'm going to do, I want to make this as big and as light as possible. I've already made the elevator, and again I've just used a method that I've used more recently, which is cut it off and make some hinges with plastic milk bottle. So there's hinge, 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 one in the middle, hinge, 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 plus the other bit's 5mm foam board. So the plan is I'm actually going to cut this, and then I can actually increase the wingspan by about ½ an inch, because I shall cut it and glue it at that point, which also conveniently leaves a hole in the middle. Anyway, that's a heads up. I'm going to get on and do a few of these bits and pieces, and I'm going to leave the dihedral in on this one because the plan is to make it into an ultralight FPV kind of powered glider. So, see what happens next. Right folks, so that's where we're up to so far. Aileron servo's in, elevator servo in. I usually leave this until last, but I deliberately wanted to keep the weight as well forward as possible. What I'm waiting for to finish this is the motor. Now, most of my builds I've used a BR1806, which is probably twice as much power as you need one of these if you build it light. This time I'm going for a BR1811, which weighs 10 grams compared to the 20 grams of an 1806, and apparently with a 4x3 prop will give 175 grams pull. So at the moment this is coming out at about 125 grams. So with a tiny little FS2A receiver and a small LiPo, it's going to be well under the 250 grams. And as I said, the idea is to make it into a really easy to fly, slow flying FPV plane. I've got loads of these little FPV cameras at home, and apart from using them on drones occasionally, I've never used one on an RC plane. So the plan is to mount one of these. That's actually a little thing that I adapted out of another little glider, tiny little FPV camera. Maybe put this one on, or maybe put this one on. This works with a 1S LiPo. It was just a question of buying a chip, solder on an antenna, solder the tiny little camera on, and it actually has quite an amazing range for such a tiny, lightweight camera. Anyway, that's enough of this waffling. If you want to see how I get on with this idea, please hit subscribe, and we'll see how this project works out. And why not give it a like if you found this interesting. But I must say, this is almost the purest Lidl conversion I've ever made. They're getting much tidier. If you saw my first one, which has actually got 50,000 views on it, it was just such a terrible, scruffy build. But I'm getting better at this after 13, and I think this is the most pure and kind of beautiful Lidl conversion I've done so far. It's the Lidl glider in itself, for £10 or less, is just such a beautiful platform for turning into RC planes or gliders. In fact, while you're here on my channel, why not check out my number 13 build just a couple of weeks ago, which I call the Lidl Red Devil, my first aerobatic version. A complete contrast to this easy fly version that I'm making now. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. So that's all for now. Stay tuned if you want to see how I get on. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.